So this evening, I'm honored to be a part of this program. With over 750 attendees, this is a big deal. Mike and Stacy, you know how to throw a party. I need to share with you a little story. It was 7 years ago that my path crossed with Mike Galiazzo. It was a chance meeting, community meeting, that was focused on how do we improve the workforce in Baltimore City. It was at that chance meeting that we developed more than a friendship, but we developed a kinship. It was also at that meeting that we discussed a paper that Mike had written entitled Manufacturing, the Pathway from Poverty to Prosperity. You've already heard how committed Mike is. That paper helped to serve as the catalyst for the work of the Baltimore Minority Business Development Agency's Advanced Manufacturing Center. That paper was the cornerstone of a grant that created what you see tonight with many of the champions that are in the room. RMI's role as an advocate and thought leader for manufacturing in Maryland has crossed racial, ethnic, and gender lines. It has positively affected both large business and small business. It is for this, it is for his passion, his compassion, his enduring commitment and caring that I affectionately have dubbed Mike the godfather of manufacturing. When it comes to manufacturing in Maryland, Mike, you are the GOAT. You are like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, and Cal Ripken all rolled into one. As our champion, you're like Muhammad Ali. You float like a butterfly and you sting like a bee. So tonight, Mike G, we want to give you your flowers while you can see them and smell them. And so there are a few folks in this room who'd like to share their sentiments about RMI and Dr. Mike Galiazzo. So let's roll the video, please.
Mike, congratulations today as we celebrate you being the grand champion of manufacturing. I could think of no better person to honor. You are a true testament to what being a champion of manufacturing is.
You've worked tirelessly, creating awareness of the importance of changing the face of manufacturing and rebranding it from dirty, dark, and dingy to high-paying, high-tech careers, inspiring the next generation of manufacturing workers.
You've been a partner in this idea of bringing everybody together to lift all boats, particularly around manufacturing. You are the godfather of manufacturing in the state of Maryland.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you because your leadership has been instrumental in helping my people grow and learn. You have been instrumental in changing policies in our country and in our state so that we can turn around and invest in new technology.
When policymakers want to connect with manufacturers, whom do they go to? They go to Mike Galiazzo. Thank you, and a toast, cheers, and thank you very much.
You remind us day in and day out that we have a duty to each other, to our industry, to our country, and most importantly, to generations to come. Manufacturing is the bedrock of our global economy, and you, Mike, are the bedrock for manufacturing.
I want to thank you for being the dedicated and passionate leader we needed in our region and our state to lift manufacturing to new heights. It has really been a privilege to work with you as an educational partner over these many years. Your efforts have impacted thousands of lives by providing a pathway to meaningful careers that have strengthened families and grown our economy.
I want you to know that the thing that I remember most, I guess, is the day you came to me and asked my opinion on whether or not you should give up your secure employment as a faculty member of the Dundalk Community College and take on the task of being a full-time employee of the Regional Manufacturing Institute. I said, Mike, nobody else can make that decision for you, but if you're convinced that you can do it, then if I were in your place, would be saying, yes, I'm going to do it. Happily, you came up with the same answer. And now, as a result of that, we're having this wonderful tribute for the work that you've accomplished since you made that decision.
Mike, congratulations on 32 years. 32 years of partnerships, but most importantly, congratulations on friendship. Somebody that leads from the heart like you is always going to be valued. And I value you, Mike, and I value most of all our friendship. Thank you and congratulations.
No one has worked harder and longer in the best interests of Maryland manufacturers than Mike Galiazzo. Since you're not retiring, Mike, I think you're on a roll and next year's event will be 1,000 people. So again, thank you, Mike, for your tireless service. Let's get a beer soon.
I just would like to say congratulations to you and thank you for the advancement of manufacturing here in Maryland.
We haven't known each other for long, but the time that we have has been great. I've truly enjoyed it. Your passion, your love for the state, for manufacturing, is beyond measure and beyond words. So I just want to say thank you.
Our company has been a manufacturer for over 30 years, but when I met Mike, things really started to happen. He helped me realize that we weren't the only ones struggling to manufacture in Maryland. He helped me with resources, he made introductions to other manufacturers, and he's become a valued advisor.
I am sure I can say there is no doubt in this room tonight who the real champion of manufacturing is, Dr. Mike Galiazzo. Thank you, Mike, for all you've done for regional manufacturers and especially for me.
I so appreciate the fact that I don't have to be there in order for diversity to be at the forefront of people's minds because you cover it. Here's to girls in manufacturing and here's to us celebrating because you gotta pause, Mike Galiazzo.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for everything you do for us.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Please stand.
Please join us in a round of applause for Michael Galiazzo.
Thank you, Mike. On a count of 3, I would like for all of you to say, thanks, Mike. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. For Mike to be effective, he has to have a team that supports and challenges his vision. 2 of my favorite people of RMI serve as Mike's checks and balances. So please welcome to the stage Susie Gantz, RMI's board vice chair, and my dear friend Eris Meliserado's board chair. Thanks, Mike.
Good evening. I've been worried all week whether I'd be making it up here and be able to make it up on this podium, but now that I'm here, hopefully we'll be back to normal. I hope my voice holds up. What a great evening from Maryland Manufacturing. Thank you all for being here. Congratulations to the 80 or so champions that were crowned earlier today. And obviously, thank you to all the sponsors and the great work that everyone has done organizing this event. Stacy, you outdid yourself. Thank you. Congratulations. But this evening, ladies and gentlemen, it's Stacy's crowning achievement, but it's a night to congratulate our grand champion, Mike Galiazzo. I've known Mike for over 40 years. He did a great apprenticeship in the community college system, got his PhD as a community college leader, worked for the port, worked in the community college system, but really found his home when Charles Wheatley, who spoke earlier in the video, advised him to follow his heart and accept county chair's county council or county executive Dennis Rasmussen's offer to create a regional manufacturing institute to push Baltimore County and the region into modern manufacturing. beyond Bethlehem Steel and Western Electric and General Motors and the like. And for 32 years, Mike has been incessant in his passion, in his commitment to make manufacturing what it truly is, the bedrock of a modern economy, the foundation of a modern economy, and above all, the foundation of a middle class that supports a modern society. I've worked with thousands of people in my career. I've never seen anybody who for 32 years has persisted towards this goal. And I gotta tell you, over the last 4 or 5 years, he has perfected it. He's become a national figure. He's become certainly beyond regional into Maryland manufacturing. And he's a true believer that technology must be induced into the manufacturing process to allow the competitiveness that our country needs and our region needs to be competitive in the whole world. So Mike, personally, I thank you. Personally, I admire your commitment and passion, and I hope you can continue that as you go to the next chapter, where I think you'll have an even broader impact than you've had before, because you are the best advocate for any cause, and your commitment and passion have truly awakened Maryland leadership in the legislative and executive levels to pay attention to the importance of manufacturing in creating a modern, functioning economy. So thank you, Mike.
For over 25 years, Mike has been that advocate, that heart, the soul of Maryland manufacturing. He's been the beacon when folks said, it couldn't be better. He said, of course it can, and I know the way. He has led us with his passion. He's led us with his vision. He's led us with his intelligence. He's led us with his energy. He's led us with his partnership. He's led us with his advocacy. And there is no better man in terms of Maryland manufacturing that has made more of a difference over the past 30 years than my dear friend, Mike Galiazzo. Some people say, I like Mike, but I don't like Mike. I love Mike. I do. And I love him because he represents all of us, and he brings us all together. He is the glue that binds us all together, no matter what we represent, large or small, or different places, or cars or crabs. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. What matters for Mike is that he has the capacity to take us from where we are today to tomorrow. He's that leader that leads by being your friend, by standing there with you and sharing his vision gently and softly, and sometimes loudly, very loudly. So tonight we get the honor to celebrate my very, very dear friend. And so tonight I'm going to ask you to raise your glasses to our friend in front of you.
Where's the glasses? Here they come.
Thank you. Mike, I'm going to ask you to please come up on stage. To the godfather of Maryland manufacturing. We get to toast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to, as Scott Phillips said, the godfather of Maryland manufacturing, the 2022 and forever champion of Maryland manufacturing, the incredible Mike Galiazzo, the advocate for all things that are good for manufacturing and society. Mike, congratulations.
You're here. To our champion. At this time, let's hear it for Mike. Woo! And we've commissioned a special sculpture to be custom designed from Magma Build Studios for Mike. And at this time, I invite Eric Wanver from Magma Build Studios to join us on stage with the sculpture. And now, a few words from Mike.
Okay, Mike, it's all yours.
Okay. Eric and Eric, Magma Build, RMI members, great people who do really great and wonderful things. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. I guess that that piece is just as different as me. I'm not sure. I think that's what he had in mind. First of all, can you hear me okay? Good, good. Stacy said, get ready to cry, and I did hold back tears. You know, April, I love you. Scott, I love you. Those two people are some of my best friends, and their life is driven by belief in faith, family, and in service. I am so pleased to have them working with me side by side and supporting the future of Maryland manufacturing. Eris Melissaratos and Susie Gans, what beautiful people, just absolutely beautiful people. And I'm so fortunate that they're part of my family, part of the people that I hang out with. Just absolutely wonderful human beings. But let me tell you one video that we didn't have, and that was me telling all of you how much I have received by having you in my life. You know, my passion and energy to do good, it's always been fueled by friends who care about helping others, friends who are hopeful, friends who understand that fighting for manufacturing is a noble cause. You know, I once heard that life is not measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take away your breath. This moment is deeply gratifying, and I am moved, and I have cried, by the expressions of love and respect that I've received tonight. Now, for those of you that don't know me well, let me clarify that statement. I said it takes away my breath, not that I'm going to be speechless tonight. I've been very fortunate to always love the work that I do, but equally important, I've always done the work with loving people, dedicated people who work to achieve significance in the community, people who have values and vision and vitality, designed to serve others, and people who believe in the dignity and the worth of individuals, and people who know the future is full of hope. To all my friends, it is a blessing to have you by my side. Your spirits inspired me, your friendship has honored me, and your dedication led us to where we are tonight. RMI is not Mike Galiazzo. RMI is the community of advocates who stood with me and our board of directors for 32 years and who's created a chorus of voices in support of the opportunities of prosperity offered by Maryland manufacturing. And as I accept this award in recognition, let's take a moment to acknowledge others. Peter Gourlay. Peter Gourlay was my rock and everybody's friend. He always had a smile, a warm smile on his face, and his credo was simply, be nice, be nice. Peter ran our highly successful energy efficiency program when he was with the Maryland Energy Administration, serving hundreds of companies with our lead engineer, Bob Barazzato, who is here tonight. We lost Peter in January of 2021 to cancer, but his memory and spirit are with us. And Peter, I know you're with us tonight. Chris Plater. I've known Chris Plater longer than anyone in this room, other than my sister Maureen and my lifelong friend Jerry Rickey. Chris has been on the RMI team for decades. She has been a behind-the-scenes, indispensable member of RMI. She's played important roles in every major event that we've held and in our energy efficiency program that was statewide and has been going on since the O'Malley administration. Chris is admired by all who know her well. She is my champion and my good friend. Stacy Smith. Now, what can I say? Stacy is the champion's champion. You know, when we lost Peter Gourlay, Stacy stepped up to help me. We would not be here tonight without Stacy Smith. And yes, let's give her a hand. Stacy is a dynamo of talent who inspires me with her drive, her intelligence, and most of all, her relentless passion to serve those in need. Working with Stacy is a joy. She will always be one of my most unforgettable and remarkable friends. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. And by the way, this is audience participation. If you hear something really nice, go ahead and applaud, okay? RMI has always been a stakeholder organization with representatives of business, education, government, labor, and community. At this time, I'd like to ask the RMI Board of Directors to please stand to be recognized by this audience. So RMI Board of Directors, please stand up. And And I also want to introduce three of the former chairmen of the RMI Board of Directors. We heard Charlie Wheatley, and we heard all three of those, but I'd like for them to stand up. Charlie Wheatley, who was there to help me with my life decision to be here tonight. We had a date with destiny, Charlie. Thank you. Scott McDonald. Scott McDonald was board chairman before we got to where we are today, so he hung in there. He was there when it was really important to stick together. So thank you, Scott. And this next guy, I think everybody knows. If you read, watch TV, or get on the internet, my good friend Drew Greenblatt from Marlins Steel. Drew? And their leadership really kept things running. You know, I've always said that the most important action needed to grow Maryland manufacturing is to have public policymakers stand up for our cause. And many local and state government policymakers are with us tonight. You know, their presence shows that they share our desire to make it in Maryland with a bold new vision for the future. Unfortunately, my good friend, Senator Kathy Klassmeyer, called me yesterday and she has COVID. But I promised Kathy that I would remind the group that Kathy was with manufacturing and with Mike Galiazzo in Annapolis before manufacturing was cool. So Kathy, thank you so much, and I'm so sorry that you're not here. She introduced me to Annapolis. But I have some new friends that have been here tonight and are here right now. And that's the joy of doing the kind of work that I do. Earlier, we had Brooke Learman, who's a Maryland State delegate, who is now a controller-elect. And during the campaign, I'll tell you, Brooke met with a group of 20 manufacturers to discuss the top strategic issues for manufacturing. And it was a really positive event. And tonight she told me that she would like me to have that group work as an advisory group on manufacturing with her office in the future. So she's not here tonight, she left, but I want to thank Brooke for that. I want to introduce someone who's a new friend, a kind and gentle person who has been enormously successful, which proves that if you operate by right, you will have might. And I'm talking about Adrian Jones, our Speaker of the Maryland House of Delegates. Adrian. Just as underscore, having the Speaker of the House of Delegates, Maryland House, Speaker of the House here, is a phenomenal, phenomenal gift to us. And Adrian, I want to thank you personally. It's interesting, I didn't even know you before this year, but I feel like I've known you forever. Thank you so much for your leadership. Of course, we heard from Johnny Olszewski, Senator, hold on, lost my thing. Senator Hettleman was here and may still be here, I'm not sure. Senators Charles Siddell, Senator Ben Brooks, Senator Chris West, and Delegate Lily Chee. Now I'm going to stop for a second because these two people have played a very, very critical role in manufacturing in Maryland. In 2021, RMI, we had written, along with my good lobbyist friend, Rich Reinhardt, legislation to create a legislative work group for Maryland manufacturers. Lily introduced it as a delegate, and Chris introduced it as a Senate. That bill became law, and today I'm happy to say that we're going to be sending recommendations to the governor that should include a request for $50 million for manufacturers to be able to purchase 4.0 technologies. So I want to thank all of them. And Michelle Guyton, my friend Michelle Guyton is here. And Michelle, the first year we introduced the legislation, we didn't make it, but but the next year it went through. Julian Jones, the Baltimore County Councilman, is here. Eric Costello, Baltimore City Councilman, is here. And my friend N. Scott Phillips, who is going to be a newly minted delegate, as you heard earlier, is here. So will you please join me in thanking all of them for their attendance tonight. So much of the future of manufacturing, so much of what we're going to do in Annapolis will be done because we're building relationships to make the dynamics of manufacturing and the leadership, particularly of the Westmore administration and the leadership of the Senate and the leadership of the House of Delegates, understand the value of manufacturing to community. Now, to our 222 champions, you represent the exceptional stories of success, and we are here tonight to celebrate you. My sincere congratulations to all the champions. Your stories will remain on the RMI website, and Maryland Public Television, who's here tonight, will review champion stories for possible inclusions in future Made in Maryland programming. And I have a special request to our champions. Think of that significant other person in your life who gave you the start that got you where you are today. When you go home tonight, reach out to that person who was your significant other, who put you on life's pathways that led to you here tonight. Celebrate them, and as we are celebrating you, you know there's no greater reward in life than saying, thank you for caring for me when it mattered the most. You know, Maryland is uniquely aligned with the future to become a national showcase for next generation American manufacturing. We can show others the way to that grand vision. Our undeniable world-class R&D ecosystem, our culture of innovation, and our diversity and our diverse visionary leadership represent a prescription for making it in America, making it in Maryland. No other state, no other country has the assets to transform talent and technology into a powerhouse of economic and social change for the good of all. So where do we go from here? Watch the screen and play the video, please.
The key to prosperity is technology and innovation. Today, technology is growing at speeds never before known in the history of the world. Maryland needs to embrace the moment and travel down pathways of new possibilities to achieve significance in a world of rapid transformation. If we think big, act bold, with imagination, Maryland can be a national showcase for next-generation American manufacturing. We have the talent and technology to drive this kind of grand transformation. Let's align our public and private sectors to build new solutions together and to share and a new vision for Maryland. A vision that speaks to the value and worth of individuals who love to make things. A vision for people who care about making goods that are good for the world. And a vision that sees manufacturing as an instrument of social change. Our world-class R&D ecosystem, the culture of innovation, and diverse visionary leadership represent a prescription for making it in Maryland and for making history. Maryland manufacturing will never be what it was, but it can be what it should be. It should be a national showcase of next-generation American manufacturing, a showcase that will strengthen our state, our communities, and our people, and a showcase built on the values, vision, and vitality of the people of Maryland.
And I want to thank our premier sponsors for that video. Making Maryland a national showcase for next-generation American manufacturing requires new alliances, new thinking, and the rapid adoption of advanced 4.0 technologies. I've been known to call out people when they're talking. RMI has enjoyed a decade-long partnership with the Maryland MEP, the Maryland Manufacturing Extension Partnership. MEP and RMI together represent the voice of Maryland manufacturing. MEP's Executive Director, Mike Kelleher, and his outstanding team have made enormous positive impacts on Maryland's manufacturing. MEP has been and will continue to be a leader in transforming our industry. To date, Maryland MEP's record of success is very historic. Mike Kelleher is a good friend of mine and a successful leader. Mike is dedicated, hardworking, and relentless in his support of Maryland manufacturing. And tonight has some very special announcements to make, and I know you all have been waiting for that. So would you please join me in welcoming my good friend, Mike Kelleher. Mike, woo!
Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Thank you for the kind words, and more importantly, thank you for your friendship. and actually on behalf of everybody in this room, thank you for your friendship. You've been a friend to everybody here tonight, and over the last 30 years, I think you've been a friend to manufacturing, and it shows. What a great night. Can never say RMI doesn't know how to throw a party. Look around the room, it's full. Congratulations to all of our champions, and most importantly, congratulations to our grand champion, Mike Galiazzo. I know it's already been said tonight, but I just want to take another minute to congratulate you for your tireless work to make sure Maryland manufacturing remains a key part of our economy and an important part of what we do here in Maryland. And I think the fact that we've got more than 750 people here tonight celebrating shows it's working, Mike.
Thanks.
So while tonight's about celebrating our champions, it's also about positioning our manufacturing for the future. And to do that, Mike has invited me to share a little bit about the next chapter of RMI. And I'm really excited and honored to be up here and be a part of that. Tonight, we're proud to announce that Maryland MEP and RMI are coming together to support a single vision for the future of Maryland manufacturing. Collectively, we know that these two great organizations are going to be able to continue to bring you great events like the Champions Series. We're going to continue to develop new programs and services that support the manufacturers that are in the room. And more importantly, we're going to be able to advocate and champion for Maryland manufacturing like never before. To be clear, Mike Galiazzo is not retiring. We wouldn't let him. But watch out, because we're going to turn Mike Galiazzo loose to be the voice of manufacturing for all of us. We're going to turn Mike loose to be a champion of our cause in Annapolis, to advocate for funding and support from our legislators, to educate our politicians and stakeholders, and to share with all the story of why manufacturing is so important to Maryland's economy. Together, Maryland MEP and RMI are committed to helping our manufacturers and the entire manufacturing sector in Maryland grow and prosper into the future. And for that, Mike, I'm grateful, and I encourage all of you, stay tuned, because in 2023, we're going to see more great things coming from Maryland MEP and RMI together. Now, I also have the privilege of announcing one of the first new programs that we're launching collectively, and this one is really exciting. Tonight, we're announcing a philanthropic effort, the Dr. Mike Galiazzo Manufacturing Community Fund. It's a brand new program and partnership designed to give back to the community of stakeholders, designed to support community-based programs, educational programs, student-based programs, things that are going to propel the future of our manufacturing workforce into tomorrow. And to kick that program off, Mike and RMI, out of their generosity, have taken $10,000 of tonight's proceeds to jumpstart that program. So we're really excited about that.
Additionally, I'm also excited to welcome to the stage Mr. Bill Waddell. Bill is the president of CFG Bank, a longtime partner and sponsor of RMI. And when Bill heard about this new community-based initiative, he's committed to matching RMI's funds of $10,000. So the new Dr. Mike Galiazzo Scholarship Fund, community-based fund, is kickstarting 2023 with $20,000 to support these programs. Bill, on behalf of myself and RMI, thank you for your support. Mike, thank you for everything you do for the manufacturing community.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. By the way, I'm wearing CFG Bank formal tonight. This is about as dressed up as we get at the bank, so forgive me for the lack of tie. We love our relationship with Mike and RMI. Mike is a rock star. He works tirelessly for the manufacturing industry in Maryland, and I know all of you greatly appreciate that. But we're also really looking forward to working with Mike Kelleher and MEP. We feel like the alliance between MEP and RMI is a great example of the whole being better than the sum of the parts. And we're proud to partner with both those organizations, and we're proud to support them in all of their activities to help the manufacturing industry. So we look forward to being a big part of helping Mike, both Mikes, to supporting the manufacturing industry in Maryland. Thank you very much.
And Bill and CFG have been a tremendous supporter of our industry. Not sure if it was made clear, but last year they contributed $50,000 to RMI to allow us to do what we're doing today. So Bill, thank you so much. We're almost done. I want to thank Stacy Smith and Mike Kelleher, who suggested that they form a Mike Galiazzo Community Fund to support learning opportunities. I'm deeply appreciative to them and to Bill Waddell, president of CFG, for his generous contribution to the fund and support of RMI and MEP. You know, the list of RMI accomplishments is too long to talk about. And besides, what we did is not as important as why we did it. We did it to help others. We did it to create community. We did it to serve the less fortunate. We did it because manufacturing improves lives, strengthens families, builds communities, and creates wealth. Governor-elect Moore tells us that no one will be left behind. I get that. I get that as a veteran and as a soldier in the trenches fighting for others to enjoy the dignity in work and the pursuit of happiness. When RMI began in 1990, America's middle class was being hollowed out by the movement to offshore jobs. Folks a lot smarter than me were writing papers saying we must outsource because of cost. And so the loss of opportunity and hope for millions of Americans began. After decades of this erosion of America's soul, our middle class, I have come to believe that the cost to compete was calculated based on the cost of the company, not the country. And today, we're living with that damning decision. Today, our economic battlefield has far too many who have been left behind due to the loss of manufacturing jobs. They need our help. They've been left behind for far too long, and we must include them in our efforts to leave no one behind. For 32 years, I have been working with thousands of others to leave no one behind by creating positive, life-altering opportunities in manufacturing. We have the well-paying jobs, we have the benefits, we have an emerging high-tech environment, and we represent a wealth-producing industry. So, in closing, I invite all of you to walk with Mike Kelleher and me as we face the future, to join MEP and RMI, as we bring others together who share our values and views, who know that manufacturing really does matter, that manufacturing offers pathways to prosperity, that manufacturing is an instrument of social change and economic well-being, and that manufacturing must be a priority in Maryland. If you walk with me and Mike Kelleher, if you join our cause, if you stand up and speak out, then together we will leave no one behind, and together we will make history. Thank you and good night.